What's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Tricology News Talk. This is the Dynamite Show Review Show. As always, let's welcome our co-host for the show, Leland Benford. What's up, brother?
What is good, everybody? Big show to talk about. Super excited. Can't wait to get into it.
So this was there was in Atlantic City for this week's Dynamite. Of course, we had the world title Texas Deathmatch as the main event. Tony Khan had a huge announcement. We'll get into that in a few moments. We also had a TBS championship match as well, an Inner Circle team meeting, and then MJF speech from defeating CM Punk last week on Dynamite. So let's get into the review, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay, first off, we had the very patterned red carpet as like kind of like the scarf that MJ wears at opening set, man. So they started out with Wardlow. He carries out the cardboards from MJF, one showing him choking out Punk, and then one him sitting in the ring, and give it to Josh Edwards to introduce not only FTR and Tony Bledsoe, then Sean Spears was next, and then come out at MJF. Like Justin Roberts was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, I got to read from the script from every single one that came out. Like Wardlow gave him a script, then FTR gave him a script, then Sean Spears gave him the script before MJF came out last.
You know what the best line of that whole script was?
What?
I pinned shoulders to the mats and I banged all the rats.
Bro, oh my God.
That had me dying laughing.
Yeah. He started by saying last week that he made it clear that he's the best warrior on the planet. False. When he beat Punk, it made MJF emotional. So that he had to lean over after his victory and told Punk, "You suck." He sounded like he was about to give to credit Wardlow for some help, but he thinks Sean Spears instead. And Sean Spears, he got MJF a gift, a better than the best in the world shirt that he could buy immediately. Now, from that just makes Wardlow even stupid. Like, Wardlow was out there that got you the victory, not Sean Spears. What does Sean Spears have to do anything? Like, this is making Wardlow stupid. I don't know if he's buying his time to just waiting his time to turn on MJF, because the way they did there, that just making him look stupid.
I mean, Revolution would be a good time to turn Wardlow babyface. And it's going to be so satisfying when it happens. It's going to be so satisfying because they've been teasing it, and I can't wait for the moment to happen. But Wardlow did look insignificant in this whole promo, which is what MJF is doing right now, to try to knock him down a peg. And I think he said thank you to Sean Spears because Sean Spears is the accountability buddy. So maybe Sean Spears made sure Wardlow was doing his job.
But anyway, now MJF sets his sights on the AEW World Championship. But however, Punk interrupt saying MJF's win in Chicago is about suspect as his spray tan. Today, Punk got some friends. Darby Allin and Steen showed up with bats in hand. Punk says he wants a rematch, but not with MJF, but with Wardlow. He offered Wardlow a chance to leave MJF behind, and then MJF gets furious about the whole thing. Dat said he wants a rematch, and Punk agreed to run back the 6-man tag team match that they had on that Christmas episode, or the holiday batch episode on Dynamite from a few weeks ago. MJF agrees, but on condition that Punk finds a partner and defeat FTR for him to get another rematch with MJF at any time that Punk wants. But he cannot team with Darby Allin or Sting. In the meantime, Wardlow got a match coming up next. What was that opens up the show?
Yeah. So the thing about the CM Punk run, real quick, not to jump off too much, but the thing about the CM Punk run is that I feel like every month we see him getting more and more and more back to the CM Punk that we knew, 7-8 years ago, whatever. So every time he's coming out, it's just getting better and better and better. And now I feel that the full pinnacle is more involved with this thing. It's building up, and there's great storytelling here because CM Punk really wants to get back to MJF, and CM Punk is trying to be this baby face and doing by the book and playing by the rules. And I don't think MJF has ever won a match in recent times without that damn Dynamite ring. So
no, he hasn't.
yeah, and also I do think the Dynamite ring needs to be like a belt, and it needs to be up for grabs more often, other than like the Battle Royal they do every once in a while. I feel like that needs to be like a TNT Championship thing as well. But every week we see CM Punk getting better and better and better. And last night's promo and last night with the segment with MJF, I was like, man, this is becoming a even better rivalry now that we got FTR more involved and other people getting more into it. And I know they've been a part of it, but I feel like last night they really got involved. So it is starting to feel more of this bigger rivalry outside of just MJF and CM Punk.
My question to you is that what if we see this rematch? Do you see we see like a 50-50 booking, like Punk gets his revenge on MJF, and then like somewhere down the line we maybe get like a third match, and then after that third match that they go their separate ways? Do you see this? Do you see this how this is going?
Yeah, I think it's gonna follow that classic. Punk gets his victory, and maybe Punk gets his victory in Revolution with the help of Wardlow. So now Wardlow has helped each man get a victory, and then maybe the third blow-off match is like a steel cage. But I think if they go that traditional rivalry route and keep us entertained in between, like doing what they do and have CM Punk fight other members that surrounding MJF with the help of other people, I think we got a really good rivalry here because both guys are going to just land it on the mic. Both guys are going to kill it, in promos. And their match was really good. Like MJF, sometimes for me, when I'm watching him, he doesn't really have like a style sometimes, but I feel like I'm starting to see his style develop more and more and more in some of his moves because he is pretty athletic. Like he can do some pretty cool stuff, but he is that retro heel, so a lot of his moves are more kind of like grounding. But I think we got a really good rivalry, a really good program stored for us, and I think this will be the story that makes Wardlow turn on MJF, and that's going to be freaking satisfying.
Yeah, we'll get to the Wardlow match in a second, but before that, we got a promo backstage where Andre El Idolo finally meets Sting with Darby Allin. He knows Allin works for Sting, but Sting told Andrade to speak to Allin face to face. Allin says he's got better things to do, like being the next TNT champion. Andrade come back and saying that he will be the next champion. So my thoughts is, could we see at Revolution, this is just a pitch, could we see Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin versus Andrade in a triple threat for the undisputed TNT championship at Revolution? What do you think about that?
That would be a heck of a match, but I don't think we're going to get a triple threat. I think we're going to get either Andrade or Darby versus Sammy. And Andrade versus Sammy, I think I might want to see that more than Darby versus Sammy.
Yeah, but if they don't get, I feel like we might see a single match between these two, Darby Allin and Andrade, but we'll have to wait and see how this go forward from now to Revolution, because both of them have their eye on the TNT championship. And then, of course, we have the face of the Revolution match that determines the number one contender for the TNT championship. But we'll get to that in a second as well. So the first match of the night, we have Wardlow defeating the Blade in about less than 3 minutes. Like Wardlow commands like 4 power bombs in the powerbomb symphony for the win. And then after the match, Spears whacked Blade with the chair afterwards.
So this is, to me, foreshadowing, because Blade is a heel. Wardlow's supposed to be a heel. But in this, Wardlow got the babyface reaction and the babyface cheers. So this, to me, is foreshadowing of them already putting him in a babyface role. And I think that's kind of what I saw. But there's also one moment when he went for like the third power bomb where the crowd just absolutely popped. And dude, it felt like a WrestleMania moment for a second. Like that's how loud that crowd was when Wardlow did it. I was like, man, Tony Khan really needs to hold on to Wardlow, because I think if WWE got their hands on him and they ran the exact same gimmick, it could be something really big for them. Now, they're going to ruin them, of course, because of their 50-50 booking and all this other stuff, and they don't want, big stars anymore. But I think if Tony Khan can keep Wardlow there, I think he can do his first, like, WrestleMania kind of event based around Wardlow. Because people go, especially if it's like Wardlow versus MJF, they're going to want to see MJF get powerbombed 8 times in a row. And they're going to go crazy for every single one of them.
Yeah, even Wardlow said, like in an interview, AEW is his first home. This way he got started, and he don't plan on leaving it anytime soon. So that's a discussion for another time. After the match, we saw a promo package with Penta going to this dark side and also calling out Malachi Black. So he pulls a mask out of the grave. So it feels like Penta's going to the dark side in order to have a one-on-one match with Malachi Black. So how do you feel about Penta going to the dark side?
Dude, Penta versus Malachi Black is one of the matches I wanted to see when Malachi debuted. As a matter of fact, anytime someone new comes into the company, I always think about like, I wonder what kind of good match they can have with Rey Fenix or Penta, So this is definitely a match because it's such a mixture of styles where you got Malachi with that quick, fast strikes, and you got Penta and his luchador techniques. And I think it's just such a mixture of styles that I think they're going to have a great match. But yeah, going dark to fight Malachi, yeah, kill it, because we're going to cheer for it regardless.
Yeah,
maybe he do that arm break move he does.
Yeah, this is definitely a word to see. But are we gonna get Rey Fenix or like freaking Brody King in this situation as well, or is this gonna be straight up one-on-one?
I mean, I say start at one-on-one, and then Rey Fenix is clear to come back. Definitely put them in the team, because think about Rey Fenix versus Brody. I mean, heck, that's such a size difference, but those matches always make for good entertainment. So, just seeing what Rey Fenix will kind of do to counteract the dude's just overall size would be exciting to see.
It's going to be very interesting. So after that promo package, we've got the Inner Circle team meeting. Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Jay Gager come out with the Inner Circle vest. Jericho says he hasn't seen Santana Ortiz all day, but they finally came out with a new music. Jericho asked Santana Ortiz to explain why they did not tag him a couple of weeks ago on the Rampage. I think it was a Dynamite when they faced 2.0 at that time. They said calling it disrespectful. Santana says Jericho only cares about himself, and the Inner Circle has only served Jericho's interests. Anytime they go after the tag team titles, it gets shut down so they can back up Jericho. The days of us playing second fiddle are over and done. The only thing that's kept them going was the fans. And if it wasn't for Ortiz, Santana would have dropped Jericho a long time ago. Santana reminds Jericho of Eddie Guerrero, but he makes a mistake on turning into Eddie Kingston. Jericho is an influencer. So Santana Ortiz came to AEW. They have challenged for the championships and main evented pay-per-views. They already challenged for the AE tag team titles, but they failed. And Jericho would have kicked them out if he wanted to. Maybe they got the wrong 2 members of LAX to join. I was like, ooh, they're going way back to TNA days.
Right.
They even mentioned, I should have called out the phone and called homicide. That's when Guevara stopped Santana from attacking Jericho, but Jericho told Guevara to shut up. Guevara said, this is bickering. Is it going to help him accomplish his goals? I have quitted this group before, and unless you guys can figure it out, I'm quitting again. He left the Inner Circle vest in the ring and walked off. Ortiz said Kingston is one of his brothers in arms. Where they come from, they deal with their problems. with their fists. And next week, Santana Ortiz versus Jericho and Hager will settle this. Jericho said after they smack their faces around, they will have an attitude adjustment. So what do you think about this whole situation? There was a tease of the Inner Circle breaking up. Now I feel like this is coming full circle, and now that we got a match with them for in a tag team match next week. So how you see this going forward?
I see it going, I think, as planned. I think this might be the end of the Inner Circle, which is cool because I definitely want Santana Ortiz to kind of get more of their own shine. And I think the crowd wants you too, man, because they was kind of booing Jericho. They seem to be more leaning towards Ortiz and Santana's side. But how great was Santana in that promo, though? That promo from him was great. And then, but yeah, I see it kind of going how it's going to plan it. Maybe some twists and turns, like where do Sammy lie? How will Eddie Kingston kind of affect things when he get back? Because this is all leading towards Jericho and Kingston. So, but this is off topic. But please, Tony Khan, give me the Briscoes versus Santana and Ortiz. I don't know what's the holdup with the Briscoes, but definitely give me the Briscoes versus Santana and Ortiz. But yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with the Inner Circle breaking up. It was a good run. There's no other factions to kind of go against them right now. That's going to be worth, entertaining, worth something. So yeah, it's about that time. So let's watch it to the end.
Oh, we got a lot of factions and we got a lot of trios. That's why we're waiting for the trios titles to come in at some point in time. We were just waiting for that.
Yeah, but like factions that I think like we haven't seen already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you can do Inner Circle versus like, Red Dragon or something like that. But I don't know. Like I said, I think I'm ready for like the next big faction to come out, which may be like the new version of Undisputed.
Yeah, and speaking of Undisputed, Rabio Vice was backstage. They will face the Bucks on this Friday on Rampage. The Bucks walked up and wanted to fight right now, but Attico attacked the Rapper Vice behind, and the Bucks hit the BNT trigger on Rocky Romero. Bullet Club leader Switchblade Jay White from New Pro Wrestling walked in and sent Trent through the truck. And Jay White coming in from the Forbidden Door. Now, the last time that Jay White went to the Forbidden Door was on Impact, and now he is in AEW. So what do you think of Jay White going into the Forbidden Door of AEW?
Dude, Jay White made the Young Bucks and Adam Cole look small in the frame. I was like, whoa, this is a little bigger than I thought he was. But I mean, hey, that's the best part about AEW, that you get to see a lot of these New Japan guys, these Bullet Club guys come over and, just kind of remind us of the good days when, Omega and the Bucks was running the Bullet Club. So, yeah, I'm all for it. Jay White is a hell of a talent. So just having him in a couple of matches on, even if it doesn't like lead to a full like AEW contract, but just having him do a couple of months there would be dope.
Yeah, we'll get back to Jay White in a second. So we had the face of the Revolution qualifying match, Isaiah Cassidy versus a mystery opponent. And guess who was that mystery opponent?
Limitless Keith Lee.
Oh, bask in his glory. Oh, bask in his glory. Now listen, I'm a Christian man. Now, if there's any time that I would play any wrestling sounds at a church, I would play that chant or either the New Day song.
It's a new day. Yes, it is. But how great was that debut?
Yeah, what a debut. Keith Lee was the mystery man. He just recently got married to me and Yim. They had a Beauty and the Beast theme wedding. That was pretty cool. I saw the pictures and everything. So Mr. Lee, he's all elite. They immediately greet him with a loud bask in his glory chants. Cassidy, it was more like a squash match. So even Matt Hardy walked out. So he even said, if Isaiah Cassidy win this match, or there was going to be some changes. So, so with Matt Hardy walking out.
I think with Matt Hardy walking out, that's setting up, you know what? that's setting up maybe the last run for the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, because the Jeff Hardy's contract is up like on March 10th. So that could be coming. So in the last moment of the match, Quinn tried to grab Lee's boot, allowed Cassidy to hit him with the cutter over the top rope following to the drive, but Lee swatted it away with strike combos and hit him with ground zero for the win. After the match, Piper Party took out Lee with some tender offense, but Lee caught them both individually on dives and powerbomb Quinn onto Cassidy and through the apron. So Keith Lee advances to the Face of the Revolution ladder match at Revolution. So we're just got to wait and see who else going to qualify for the match as well. So do you see Keith Lee winning the Face of the Revolution ladder match, or let him get his feet wet and let him get some wins first?
I mean, it's okay for him to lose in this match because there's so many other wrestlers involved. So it's not like a direct loss onto his record and his singles record or anything like that, because no one really can pin him. So it's okay for him to miss out on this opportunity. And I think the one we want to see the most is Wardlow. And I think that pop for Wardlow would be, bigger because he's a homegrown talent. And then Keith Lee can go on to continue on. But real quick, just to rewind it back, the entrance, right? The new music is fire. When he came out, just the look on his face, and I know that's like his normal face, but you can really tell that he missed having that kind of pop and that kind of crowd behind him. And then also be able to go out there how he wants to go out with no gimmick name. And then when he got in the ring and he took off his vest or whatever it was, and then that look on his face that he didn't have to have straps on or anything like that, you can tell he missed the wrestling crowd. You can really tell that he missed this stuff. So super happy for Keith Lee. And then his performance was just ridiculous. And I don't know if you remember, but in NXT, I told you guys, like, I don't know, Keith Lee just really don't do it for me, man. But last night he made me a fan. Last night I got it. I saw like what he did. I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So I want to go back and actually watch a lot of his matches so I can get more acquainted with his work.
Yeah, watch all of his NXT matches. Don't watch none of the when he went to the main roster. Don't watch none of that.
Oh yeah,
watch
I know better than that. I'll go look at some of his Adam Cole matches and things like that, which is a rivalry that can now get restarted. Who do you think, if you had the book right now, Keith Lee's next month rivalry, who would you put him with immediately in AEW?
Well, this is definitely a game changer for me because I see him as the very first Black AEW World Champion. A lot of people was eyeing for Will Hobbs, but Will Hobbs is stuck in with the team tag situation right now. So I feel like Keith Lee is going to be that game changer because a lot of people been talking about diversity after the whole situation with not only Big Swole but also who. Oh my God!
I did not get that Big Swole comment. I just disagree with her fully.
Yeah. It was just a lot of situation, and then for freaking. Oh my God! Who the freak is name?
You said Nick?
Nah, I'm trying to think of somebody. Hold up. Yeah, Leo Rush. Yeah. Leo Rush was another example. As well. But
I disagree. Man, Leo Rush is such a great talent, but dang, can he not just I don't know, just work for a second? I don't know. I feel like he's his worst enemy, his own worst enemy. It's really his own worst enemy. I think he's afraid of all this potential of being like a freaking superstar that he can be, or maybe he don't want to do it in wrestling. But the dude is such a great talent, man. All his matches are just incredible. Don't get why he chooses to, shoot himself in the foot so much.
Yeah, but like I said, Keith Lee is definitely a game changer. Him losing the Face of the Revolution matter, it's not gonna hurt him because they only when it comes to rankings, they only care about your singles record. That's the only thing that matters. So
right. So he can lose and not lose. He can lose in this Face of the Revolution match and not lose any momentum because there's so many wrestlers involved.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter where he can start out. He can start out chasing the TNT championship first. He can start out chasing the world title. Depends on how many rare wins he get under his belt. So it's definitely a game changer. The possibility of ending this for Keith Lee, but we'll get into more of that in a second. So
real quick, what did you think about the debut? What did you think about the crowd?
Oh, it was it got me back to the NXT, the good glory days of NXT.
Yeah, it felt like that for real.
Yeah. So we go into the video package recapping Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, and Martinez feud. So next week, Thunder Rosa will be facing Mercedes Martinez in a rematch, but this time no disqualification.
That's going to be exciting. I think these guys have great chemistry. Can't wait to see this rematch. And now that there's no disqualification, I think it's going to be, and Thunder Rosa and no disqualification matches can be pretty violent. So let's see what these ladies do.
Oh, my question here. Do you think it's too early to do Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker at Revolution, or should we save it for Double or Nothing?
I mean, you're gonna need that championship kind of match for Britt Baker, but who do you put in there? If it is gonna be Thunder Rosa, then the way they're going about booking it, and maybe next week they got something planned where Britt Baker plays a big part and Thunder Rosa losing again, to Mercedes, and that could be like the driving force towards getting Thunder Rosa the belt. But it doesn't feel like it's a big important kind of rivalry just yet, or nobody feels very important to Britt Baker right now looking for that belt.
What if this is a what if Jamie Hayter gets jealous of Mercedes Martinez, then we get Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter at Revolution, and then finally we get Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, and then that's where Britt drops the title to Thunder Rosa.
I don't know. I don't think Jamie's ready to be on her own yet. I think if she went on her own and wasn't a part of this group, she'll get lost in the shuffle.
We'll see what happens next week and how this moving forward to Revolution. But tag team match, FTR versus CM Punk and a mystery partner. And that mystery partner was Jon Moxley. We didn't have Bryan Danielson tonight, but I know he's probably watching, and he's gonna have a promo segment on this Friday's Rampage, but we'll get to that in a second. So this was a great tag team match. MJF and Shawn Spears was watching in the back. They was having champagne and all that stuff. This is a great tag team match back and forth. It kind of felt like when FTR was wrestling the Lucha Brothers. This is how good it was, because in that one sequence where FTR used the ring bell to try to win over Punk, that's the same way how they won the AAA tag team titles from the Lucha Brothers, but that didn't work. So but the end of the match, Moxley and Punk simultaneously hit the GTS and the Paradigm Shift for the win. So MJF got out of here. He was pissed and everything after the one. So Punk finally gets his rematch anytime he wants.
What a good match, right?
Yeah.
Just an awesome match. And even though I know Bryan and Moxley had that conversation about teaming up, I didn't know who Punk was really going to choose for his tag team partner. So if Mox's music hit, I'm like, that makes sense because Bryan's talking about tag teams. But I really didn't know who they were going to have because, all night they were talking about new debuts. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a new surprise debut that no one saw coming. So, but when Mox came out, I was like, man, seeing Punk and Mox would make a great team, in which they did. Especially going against such a good heel team like FTR. But really, just no complaints about this match. I mean, it was just a good, entertaining match. And I'm seeing the CM Punk, like I said before, just getting more and more back into his groove the more he's doing it. And it's just really cool to see his just progression and like that rust just coming off. So it just makes you want to see, like, man, what he's going to be like a year from now. Like, he's going to be like, he's going to be in the running for the, for the belt. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just refreshing because then we're going to really feel like he earned it because we're there for all the matches that he's been through.
Samoa Joe was my first choice.
That would blew everyone away.
Because he's in the same class with Keith Lee that got that said that their 90 days is up, and it could have been him. That was my first choice.
Man, this whole wave of wrestlers is in the market now. I mean, like, we're gonna be like, the next couple of months are gonna be very exciting to see these people back. In I think, with all these mass releases, and I know WWE is in their own world, but with all these mass releases and these waves of wrestlers coming back, it's gonna be great for companies like Impact, companies like the Indies, and companies like AEW. When we get, because look at the pop Keith Lee got, because we haven't seen them on TV in forever. So wherever Ember Moonlight pops up, huge pops because people have been waiting to see them. So I don't know, it might be a backfire in the long run, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it right now.
Ember, she's gonna be under a new name, and she's probably gonna debut when the Oral Cup starts, and Tony Storm could be there too, so
that'd be great. Yeah, I'm excited to see if she can go back to her. I can't remember what her indie name was. Oh man, I used to know. I used to follow her before she got to NXT. I can't remember, but yeah. So wherever these people pop up at, like I know, what's my man's Cross and his wife. They're about to get ready to pop up somewhere too.
Yeah, most definitely. And then so we go into a promo before we go into the TBS Championship match. AQA cut a promo before the match. She was trained by Booker T, says that Dynamite is the best place to prove herself. So she accepts the TBS Open Challenge from Jade Cargill. So AQA was formerly Zaina Rima. Sorry if I haven't pronounced the name, but she was in WWE and NXT, so she made her debut tonight. So the shooting star press that she did was great, but Jay's matches that Jay did, the shooting star press was great, but she could continue to struggle. But she getting better lately because she's being trained from Bryan Danielson. So that's something to look forward to. And then
who Jade or AQA?
Yeah, Jade. Yeah,
okay.
she getting trained by Bryan Danielson. That's why she did that that shooting star press. It was great looking.
Yeah, that match was bone shoe ugly, to say the least. There was some miscommunication at times. I can see them communicating with each other like they didn't know what was going on. But I mean, that's expected from Jade because she is still, pretty new to wrestle, even with her impressive record that she has, that is pretty impressive that they gave her those many wins. They got her going on that kind of hot streak. I mean, we're looking at a streak that may not get broken, for a long, long time by anybody else. But I mean, I'm a fan of Jade. Keep getting better. The skills are going. Your money, kill it. But I want to see who's going to take her out. That's going to be interesting. Who's going to take Jade down?
Yeah, we just have to wait and find out. So Jade defeats AQA to retain the TBS Championship. The streak continues. So after the match, the Young Bucks and Adam Cole were backstage. The Buck was going to beat Rapid Vice and set their vice on the tag team titles. Cole said Jay White will be in their corner. The Bucks was unconcerned about that, but Cole said, when you're Bullet Club for life. So where do you see this going? And do you see this probably Kenny Omega's return as well? Because remember, Kenny Omega and Jay White had a rivalry when it was on Impact, and when Kenny Omega was the AEW Impact champion, when he was the belt collector. So how do you see this going with Jay White, Adam Cole, and the Butts? And then do you see this propping up Kenny Omega's return?
Oh, for sure. And man, the place feels different without Kenny Omega, man. He brings a certain just aura to the place, like a certain, like, I don't know. But it feels different without him, you know. So I can't wait to see him back in the ring. And if the first match he has back is against Jay White, you won't see me complain.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish in a while either. What did
Bobby Fish was just on Dark, but I don't know when that was shot. But that was my last time seeing it was on Dark.
Yeah. But after the promo backstage, Serena Deeb came out and says there's no one other woman in the back that can keep up with it. So we had this Professor's 5-minute rookie challenge. Serena Deeb beat Kate Archer. But if you guys don't know her, she been on Dark lately. So she only wrestled. I think she only wrestled once on Dark. That's the only thing I remember seeing. So this was a short 5-minute match. So I feel like this is becoming a thing right now with the Professor 5-minute rookie challenge. Kind of reminds me of when John Morrison did that 5 minutes of fame back then at ECW. So I felt like this is going to be a thing now with Serena Deeb. So until somebody steps up the challenger and be here in that 5-minute challenge. So
yeah, they gave her 5 minutes, but she only needed one. Serena Deeb she's looking incredible right now. Everything she does is just really good. Again, I need someone to come challenge her, who's going to take Serena Deeb down, you know, who's going to be the baby face to overcome those odds. Because I think what you said a couple of weeks ago, I think she's going to win the Women's Owen Cup. So yes, that's where I see her at right now. She's she's their Bret Hart.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely see her winning the Owen Cup for the women's side. So and then we have a lineup for this Rampage: the Young Bucks versus Rapid Device. Brian Danielson cut a promo. Hook against Blade Lee for the QT Marshall class. Dr. Britt Baker DMD versus Robert Reedham. Sorry to pronounce the name. And then the main event will be for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, the Jurassic Express versus the Gun Club. Christian will be in the Jurassic Express corner, and Billy Dunn will be in his son's corner as well. And then next week's Dynamite, we see Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus Santana Ortiz, and then the no disqualification match with Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez.
Sound like a packed show.
Yeah. And then the main event, Texas Death Match, AEW World Championship, Hangman Adam Page versus Lance Archer. This was a brutal, bloody main event that definitely lived up the hype. Hangman Adam Page, yeah, this is lately his World Championship match, especially coming off from the 2 matches that he had with Bryan Danielson, it was looking good. Even though a lot of people criticize that if it felt like they loosened off a bit, like he was getting a lot of pop and adulations when he was going for the world title, but now when he's world champion, a lot of people doesn't feel it that way because of the matches you get, and it doesn't tell like a story or anything. But we'll just have to wait and see how it goes, because I feel like Page is gonna hang on to the championship because the last people that held the title hold on to it to at least a year, like 10 months or 11 months or something like that. So I feel like he's gonna hold it on. It just he's still getting his feet wet as world champion, so you got to give it some time. So, but there's gonna be a lot of challengers in his way. So, but So, what do you think about that situation? A lot of people saying about Heyman's title run so far.
I mean, don't get me wrong. His title run hasn't been like the most like picked up, and I don't feel like he's like doing the job of a champion. And there's nothing against Adam Page, but I don't think they're booking him to do the job of a champion. Where like Kenny Omega would be on every show, he was either opening or closing the show. They put Adam Page in the middle of the show sometimes that make him feel like more of a middle card attraction, and they just kind of not making him wrestle every week. So that's my thing. When you're the champion, I want to see you wrestle every week. You know, if you're the main guy, you know, and Kenny Omega did that. John Moxley did that. Chris Jericho not so much, but I understood why. So with Adam Page, I think he's the youngest champion we have had in AEW so far. So why I'm not seeing him wrestle every single week is baffling to me. But that's how I look at the championship. That's how I view it. So I think that's why it doesn't feel like it's been that kind of a crazy run, because they kept him off TV. Now, with that being said, every time he does fight for that belt, he's giving it his all. He's bleeding all over the damn place, and it's always an entertaining match. And you're always waiting to hear his music at the end of that 1, 2, 3, because it's such a good feeling after he wins the match. Like, you really get on his side, and you really see him digging down. So I think that's why I want to see him on TV more as the champion, if he's a champ. While he's the champion. But this match was great. The whole payoff with the rope, with Dan Lambert taking down the rope, and then the finish and how that all came together, that was great. I mean, like, I could ask for nothing more. The match gave me exactly what I thought it was going to give me. A little weird with the opening, with them already fighting, because I really wanted to hear Adam Page's music and hear the pop from the crowd. So I feel like the crowd couldn't pop, and they was waiting to pop, and they popped at the end, of course. But I think that kind of threw me off. But the match was great. The whole glass gimmick in the beginning was fun, and then all the blood and torture that was going on in that match. What was going on with Lance Archer and Jake Roberts? Why did Lance Archer get mad at Jake Roberts when he was trying to do the DDT?
I don't know what was up with that, but you did mention like in the beginning of the match, like that started from the word go, like the screw the entrances. Like we get into it right now in the backstage. As you saw, Archer would try to go for the choke slam on Page, but Page counter hit him with the belt and sent him through the glass entrance wall, but busting him open there. When they went down there, you saw Dan Lambert unlooking the screw from the top rope. Jake the Snake Rogers came out there as well, but and then Page get busted open. What he got? I don't know where he got hit. That got him busted open by the eye. That made him bleed a lot. And he countered.
He got hit in the head with that trash can right before he went to commercial break, because it seems like he wasn't bleeding before commercial break, and then when he got back, he was bleeding.
Yeah, and then Jay hit the short line clothesline. He called for the DDT, but Archer stopped him, allowing Page to hit him the DDT his own. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why that. What's going on with that one? Back in the ring, it was all back and forth. We saw barbed wire. We saw chairs. We saw tables. We saw everything. So in the closing moments, Page bending over for the official to hit the butt shot lariat, sending Archer crashing to 2 tables on the floor. Page made it back up for the count of 9, but Archer stayed down. And Page retains the title by knockout. So, and then after the match, Adam Cole came out, pick up the belt before putting it on Page, making his intentions clear that he wants the world title.
Whoa, that rivalry is going to be a good one, to say the least. And the match itself is going to be a great match, because they're going to get a lot of input from a lot of the top people there on how to make this a really good, memorable match.
Am I ready for another NXT or WWE guy to have the belt? And I'm not going to say Adam Page is a WWE guy all the way because, you know, he did have a lengthy indie career before he got to NXT. And he's been doing the same kind of Adam Cole baby gimmick for a minute. So, I mean, he's been established before. But am I ready for Adam Cole to be champion? I don't know about that just yet. You know, I am looking forward to more just AEW homegrown talent holding that belt for a little bit longer before some of these other guys start to do it. And I think Tony Khan has been doing such a good job, just kind of, you know, playing with who kind of gets it and when they get it. So not sure if I'm ready for Adam Cole to be champ. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of too early, but we just have to trust the process on that, and then where because Tony Khan has a plan with his world champions. And so yeah, well, like I said, just trust the process to see how it goes. But let me ask you this question, and I want to go off topic on this one, but do you think somewhere in WWE land, Vince McMahon is somewhere watching this match and then go to complain on some new article about some mutilations that you saw? You saw the spot where Lance Archer took the fork and used it on Paige, and then he licked the fork out of his blood.
I mean, that's just harking back to, you know, old school hardcore legends. You know, that's how it's like it's been done before. But I mean, hey, that's AEW. They give a mixture, they give a variety of kind of matches for the average wrestling fan, you know, like the hardcore wrestling fan, I should say. Because like sometimes we do want to see those kind of hardcore matches. And when you say something as Extreme Rules, you know, something extreme actually happens. So Vince got his style, AEW got their style, and I just tend to lean towards that AEW style because of matches like this I get a chance to see on TV every once in a while.
Yeah, but this was a great match to end the show, and we got Rampage to look forward to, and then next week's Dynamite as well. But this was a really good show from Atlantic City, and this was a great show. I think the Texas Death Match and the tag team match with CM Punk and John Moxley versus FTR was the two good matches from this show, and we just can't wait to see what happens for going into Revolution.
Yeah, you know who we know. Just doing some fantasy booking right here. A match I would like to see now that it's possible is Keith Lee versus Jay Lethal. That's a match I would like to see in AEW at one point, because those guys together, I think they'll create some real magic in the ring. And also Andrade versus Lethal. I think that'd be a great match. So they got a lot of, man, they're really collecting one heck of a roster with a lot of like top stars that people know from other promotions, but also mixing it in with their homegrown stars like MJF, Wardlow, and Sammy, and Darby. I mean, and Jungle Boy. I mean, they're mixing everything together, and their homegrown people is like, you know, they're still a draw. You know, they're still a draw for the company. So I think that's something that they're doing different from, like I say, TNA or you know, old WCW days, where I feel like the homegrown talent, you know, without all these other people, can still bring people in to buy a ticket to see a show, you know, without all the extra stuff. So I think that's the big difference, man. So just seeing how these guys are growing, because Keith Lee can really be in a rivalry with anybody that's on top there and like have a great campaign, and have a great little story to tell. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see where this is going.
Yeah. Anything else before we wrap up?
Man, that is it. We will be back Saturday to review Rampage and see how that show went. A couple of big matches are going to be going down there, so going to see what happened.
Yep. And we'll see y'all Saturday for Rampage. Until then, he is Leland and I am Trico, and we're signing off.
Peace.